Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahshua, HaRachakadash. Double honors to apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect, which you go to be. It's brother Hawaii from GMS Chicago. Got a cool lesson for you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites bear the shame of looking like heathens, who bear witness that they are a child of Heavenly Father. In the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the world inly calls Jehovah, God. In the name of the Heavenly Son is Yahweh Shai, who the world inly calls Jesus Christ, or Jesus Christos, so Yeshua, Yeshua, Yahweh. And pretty much this is a response video and stuff to a video where a woman was looking for appraisal and stuff, and it was affected because of her race. You know what I'm saying? She was going into how she had to set up just pictures of her husband and his family and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then afterwards, like the amount of appraisal and stuff went up at like $100,000. You know what I'm saying? Than what it was previously. You know what I'm saying? In order to get the crib, and later on in the video and stuff, you have two people that pretty much graduated from the same school and they was friends. You know, one was white, one was so-called black, one was so-called white, one was so-called black. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much they put it to the test where you had these different places when it came down to Edomites being the heads of the service in in the companies and stuff. And the Caucasian would go in and stuff, you know what I'm saying, and everything was available and right then and there, probably a cheaper price, you know what I'm saying. But then with a so-called black guy going to the and then these different places and whatnot in these different companies to buy something, you know what I'm saying. He was given a different price, and it was a higher price than what the Caucasian got, you know what I'm saying, or he was denied service when the Caucasian was able to get service right then and there, you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to this. This is Habakkuk, or you know what? Yeah, nah. This is Job 9:24. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? So who's going to be controlling the world right now and stuff? It's Esau, Edom. You know what I'm saying? It said, so he's the one that's considered as the wicked. You know what I'm saying? Not just one that can do wickedness, but he is the wicked because this is all he consists of. You know what I'm saying? So this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. It says, but the just shall live by his faith. You know what I'm saying? So Esau's soul is not upright in him. His soul is not upright in him and stuff, because as you can clearly see and stuff, they naturally was like, oh, I'm either like, oh, I'm gonna get some more money about this person when it came down to the so-called black guy, you know what I'm saying, or I'm gonna make it where he can't receive this and receive that. So it's no equality between Esau and Jacob, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that video was clearly going to. So this is Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. It says, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? It says, and if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So when it comes down to Esau, Edom, now this is going back to Cain, but Cain is reincarnated into Esau, Edom, you know what I'm saying? And he does it not right. You know what I'm saying? He don't even do right when it comes down to his own people. You know what I'm saying? You got the people down there calling themselves, Jewish, you know what I'm saying, or Israeli, the fake Jews. You know what I'm saying? Because Ish means to be like or pertaining to, but not of. So they're pretenders. In the same way with Lee at the end of Israel. The thing, there's no fairity and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you will see when it comes down to the video. And this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones in rulership and have everything. This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 13. It says, and the Lord and this was after the serpent had beguiled Eve. It says, and this is when the Lord was giving out the judgment. So this is Genesis 3:13. It says, and Yahweh power said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? Because she ate from the tree of good and evil. It says, and the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. It says, and the Lord Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle. It says, and above every beast of the field, upon thy belly shalt thou go. It says, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. It says, verse 15. It says, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman. It says, and between thy seed and her seed. Pretty much because a woman, she doesn't carry seed. You know what I'm saying? Well, she holds seed for a certain period of time once it's shot up in her and stuff. But the thing is that it's just not naturally in her. You know what I'm saying? So it's talking about children. It's talking about descendants of two races. You know what I'm saying? And when you go to Genesis 25 and the 25th chapter and stuff, it clearly goes into the fact that that there was going to be a separation between the two nations and whatnot. And it was the same way when it come down to the serpent coming against Adam and Eve. It's the same way when it came down to Cain coming against Abel. And it's the same way with Esau coming against Jacob. You know what I'm saying? And these are the two seeds and stuff that's going to have enmity between one another. And when you go into that word enmity in the Hebrew, it's the word ayabah. It's the ah, the yah, the ba, and the ha, ayabah. And it says hostility, enmity, hatred. And this is what they naturally have for the Israelites, for Negroes, Latinos, and Natives. You know what I'm saying? Uh, um, that's why Edomites can have better deals and whatnot and stuff in this God-forsaken country and stuff. Or if they come somewhere, they welcome with open arms and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because they looked upon as pure. When really, they the ones who's actually bringing great havoc amongst the world. You know what I'm saying? And then they also have an issue when it comes down to Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Mostly Southern Kingdom and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because of the color of their skin. You know. It says, it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. You know what I'm saying? And meaning the time of rulership. Esau is going to be the one that's going to be ruling right now. You know what I'm saying? But Jacob is going to rule afterwards. So this is Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 5. It says his ways. Verse 2. It says Psalms 10:2. It says the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor, and you can see that's exactly what he did. And the poor is talking about the Israelites. You know what I'm saying, right? And the guy, he tried to buy I think it was like a hotel or motel room. You know what I'm saying? And then when it came down to the Caucasian, because when it came down to the Caucasian and stuff, he had a room that was ready and whatnot and stuff, and just ready and whatnot and stuff, and gave the Caucasian the key. You know what I'm saying? And said if that key don't work, he go to master key. You know what I'm saying? So did more for him and whatnot, right? Went extra and beyond. But then when it came down to the so-called black guy coming up in what happened? He couldn't. He couldn't. He was denied a room and said that a woman just called. You know what I'm saying? And it just shows complete discrimination. It says let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined, and that's pretty much what's happening, because according to Deuteronomy 30:7, all the curses that's been placed upon us and stuff is actually coming upon the Edomites as well, right? So I'm gonna skip to verse 5. I'm going to read verse 4. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So if these Edomites and stuff, you know what I'm saying, since they know who the real chosen are, you know what I'm saying, you would think that they wouldn't do the chosen unfairly and stuff, knowing the great judgment that would come from doing so. You know what I'm saying? But they don't acknowledge the Lord in all their ways, like it says in Proverbs 3:6. You know You know what I'm saying? They came up with a whole nother doctrine to follow. You know what I'm saying? Using the Bible. You know, it says, verse 6, it says, "He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity," and stuff. And that's the pride. You know what I'm saying? They think nothing's going to happen to them and stuff, and that's why they do the discrimination. That's why they treat Negroes, Latinos, and Natives unfairly and whatnot. That's why there's no equality between one another and stuff, because it's that ancient hatred that even started in the time of Adam and Eve, man. You know, so verse 5, it says, "His ways are always grievous." It says, "Thy judgments are far above out of his sight." It says, "As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them." And it was another one when, the Caucasian had went to go buy a car, you know what I'm saying? And, it was just a certain price. He probably would have probably even got a discount and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it just showed how, the price of the car and stuff, you know what I'm saying? He was able to get it. But then when the so-called black guy came up, the cost of the same car in the same light, you know what I'm saying, that the Caucasian had just came to go, to try to buy, you know what I'm saying? When it came down to so-called black man, what happened? I think they made they raised the price, I think, up by like $500 extra. You know what I'm saying? And it was the same car not too long ago by the same, because it was like this. They was setting them up. They was gonna see, the discrimination and stuff, and that's exactly what was going on. You know. So by the color of your skin and stuff, you can sit up here and get done in. But at the same time, it's the spirit that bear witness, according to Romans 8:16. You know, uh, 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 you have East Indians and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They can be dark. They can be dark skin, brown skin. You know what I'm saying? You can have well, more than likely or you can have Arabians. You know what I'm saying? Uh, uh, um, they had, brown skin, to semi dark skin and whatnot and stuff, but Esau doesn't have hatred. You know what I'm saying? There's no spiritual war between Esau and the East Indians or the other nations and stuff that can have brown or dark skin. You know what I'm saying? But when it come down to Jake, you know what I'm saying, that's when that hatred brews. You know what I'm saying? Or broods. That's the word I'm looking for. So it says, verse 7, it says, "His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud." And when we go to that word fraud, it's the word the war. It's the dadawa and the walk. It's the dadawa and the ka the walk. You know what I'm saying? And it says it says oppression, deceit, fraud. You know what I'm saying? And that was clear oppression and stuff. When you put somebody at an unfair advantage and stuff versus somebody else and stuff, because of the color of their skin and stuff, that's a sign of oppression, man. You know. Cause of the different, the dealership, the motel owner and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They weren't pressing upon the Caucasian and stuff, but when they saw the so-called Jake, I mean, if you would, when they saw the so-called black man and whatnot, they was pressing upon him. He had to do more. Or he was denied and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was treated unfairly. It says, "Under his tongue is mischief and vanity, and mischief goes into trouble." You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Instead of just being fair, he brought trouble on the so-called black man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and when there was room and whatnot and stuff, for another room, he was denied. And then given a story just because saying that a female had just called and got the last room. When he just gave a room. To the Caucasian, right? So this is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that declare unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to go into that word decree. It says special ordinance or regulation pr- prom- promulg- promulgated. It says by authority. It says, well, actually, it says, it says, it says, it says to decree, decide, pronounce a decision, and it says deceive, thus discriminate, distinguish. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what was going on when it came down to those two. You know what I'm saying? They went to the same same schools, graduated from the same schools, and they was actually friends. You know what I'm saying? And they took part in this experiment to prove that there's the treatment and stuff between the two races are different, you know, and it's just naturally like that. It's a spirit. Like Esau doesn't really have that hatred when it comes down to the other heathens and stuff, but he has that hatred when it's Jake, and you can come out as you could even look like one of them. You know what I'm saying? You could look like an Edomite and stuff, but the spirit of the Edomite and stuff is gonna get roused up. You know what I'm saying? Amongst Jake, man. You know, and when I say Jake, I'm talking about descendants of Jacob. You know what I'm saying? The nickname that we give the nation of Israel, the Israelites. You know. So I hope this video was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shemion Shawa Harakakadash. Double honors to Apostles, Great Millstone, and salutations to your elect, which we hope to be. Shalom wa Abba Abba.